Hello, my name is Jocelyn Monge. My pronouns are she, ella from Chaffey College. My OFAR action plan is titled Las Mariposas Monarcas, un nuevo ciclo, una nueva generación for my Com Studies 4 interpersonal communication course. I implemented open pedagogy in my course through group case studies. Students had an opportunity to look at different case studies for friendships, working relationships, or romantic relationships, where they can share their own experiences and opinions on these interpersonal communication skills, co-construction of exam questions, and the code of conduct. So this implements the active participation. I also implemented an OER for my course, Mindful Approach to Interpersonal Communication, where this promotes equity and is accessible to students. So there's reducing financial barriers in my course. To conclude, this is a small snippet of my course from interpersonal communication. My students here, thank you for listening to my presentation. Gracias.
Be like water. Where there was resistance, I chose to move aside to follow the students' flow. I'm Patana Ith, and I teach communication studies at Chaffey College. This is my approach to implementing change. My students are more than involved in my OFAR project. They have informed my OFAR project. I have been collecting surveys and feedback from students since the fall, the beginning of this project. So fall informs spring, and spring will inform future cohorts of intercultural communication. So my students have informed the textbook, they've informed delivery, due dates, and assessments. To boot, they have even contributed to the first virtual gallery for the course featuring their projects and their work. I will take you there. And this is the virtual gallery that my students and I co-created. This is for the course Intercultural Communication. And what these students contributed were Proverbs projects where they compared and contrasted two proverbs from two different cultures, their own and another. And so with their permission, I have been given the honor to share their work on this virtual gallery, which is a legacy of their contribution and a show of how my students and I became co-creators of new knowledge. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Taisha McMickens, and I am a part of the Chaffey OFAR team. My overall approach this year has been to implement some open pedagogy with my students. They designed 2 class activities, and they created a media database for a public speaking class that centered the voices of people of color, but it also centered their voices and gave them a chance to make activities that were salient to their lived experiences. Now, how our college benefits from our team's participation in OFAR is through our service. We are very active in terms of service as a team. We are on Academic Senate, part of different cultural programming, Umoja Puente. I am a part of the Student Equity Planning Initiative Committee. And so we take what we've learned through OFAR to really advance racial equity programming and scholarship and ideas across our campus. And I think that that's one of the ways that we bring the perspectives that we're learning to the campus to benefit the larger community.
Hi, this is Dr. Jessica Morones, Chaffey College OFAR Team 2024-2025. This presentation will answer how OFAR has impacted Chaffey College as an institution. There are 2 main ways in which OFAR has added to the institutional climate by enhancing our courses. The 2 ways that we've done this is nearly every team member has added or revised an OER material, including myself. I revised a social problems OER textbook for my students at CIM Prison. Another way OFAR has impacted Chaffey is by encouraging us student-driven knowledge and production. And the use of BIPOC student voices. So for my OFAR project, I combined counter mapping, in which students created knowledge about their surroundings and described why these spaces are important to them in my social justice course. This helped rewrite, reimagine, and remap areas in which dominant narratives and knowledge is entrenched within the respective localities of students. So I helped them to challenge that. All of our efforts help to create open and anti-racist institutions. Thank you.
Hello, OFARians. This is Ian. I teach journalism and English at Chaffey College. For my project, I redesigned my Intro to News Writing course, or I designed the ethics portion of my Intro to News Writing course to include a lot of reparative journalism material. Reparative journalism material is overtly anti-racist material that's focused on addressing the systemic racism that's part of the journalistic tradition of American journalism. The results were great, and I was able to test a lot of material that I'm going to include in a zero-cost hub that I'm building for the journalism department at Chaffey. And then I'm going to use the same material to help create a chapter in an upcoming OER textbook that I'm writing for community college journalism programs. So in all, this project has given me a chance to test this material and refine how I would teach this approach to journalistic ethics. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Liz Encarnacion. My pronouns are they, she, and I worked on 3 aspects: open pedagogy, anti-racism, and institutional change. For open pedagogy, I held a focus group. Students gave me lots of good feedback for my project descriptions. I used student feedback to make changes and student submissions to demonstrate learning objectives and have students trade projects to then work on their final exam for the course. In anti-racism, I use principal briefs for every OER text to connect students to the authors for their course that were traditionally missing from the course materials. And institutionally, we integrated Name Coach. We worked on collaborations with curriculum, and we have a flex workshop scheduled for fall 2025 to expand our pedagogical applications and establish anti-racism in curriculum in meaningful ways.